You have the right, who we about to dive in here very soon, who realize that people's mind are being decolonized. They see the world rejecting U.S. propaganda, and they are covering this new tactic they are doing with the culture war, where they say, "Oh, we gotta combat the woke mob. We gotta an attempt to undo people breaking out American propaganda." So now, if you bring up the crimes of the U.S. empire, what they actually did to the indigenous people, the amount of wealth they stole from black and brown Americans, they would say, "Oh, you're pushing woke ideology, and you pushing critical race theory." That's the only thing they have left to protect the illusion of Western chauvinism, to protect the illusion that the American empire, the empire of the free. They have to go on the book banning, book burning tour. What they're doing is modern age book burning, because there are people that are telling the truth about the United States. So the reason why I'm covering this, because this is at home. This is in Missouri. This is real. This is what's happening here. This is Missouri bill. And the reason why I brought up, keep the Russian-China thing in mind, because imagine this headline if this was in Russia or China. I'm going to explain here soon. Missouri bill will ban critical race theory in schools and offer teachers training in patriotism. So, once again, imagine this headline where they say, "Oh my God, Russia, China, they're so authoritarian. They force people to be brainwashed and repeat pro-China propaganda." That is literally what pro-American right-wing capitalists are forced to at this point, CJ. The argument towards Marxism, the argument that black scholars have made that exposed its racist imperial system is so strong, they have to ban people from learning about it. So little Timmy and their kids don't grow up to be a radical. Because there's like this trend I saw, it was funny, Black Twitter was talking about it. We have these older conservative parents that are like, "Oh my God, my Gen Z son is a socialist." "Oh my God, my Gen Z son is against Israel and apartheid." They mad because they lost control of their kids. Because they learned through the internet, honestly, and by just accurate portrayals of history through alternative media, that the United States empire sucks.
This is what they mean, though. You hear a lot of conservatives, yeah, schools, that's the training ground for all of this. They train them because that's where you're learning like knowledge. Like you're learning like other perspectives that you could latch on to. This is like a reaction of people not getting indoctrinated. That's what this is a reaction to. It's like, what? You're not indoctrinated like me? Like that's that reflexive reaction. But back to you, Nick.
That's literally not an exaggeration. I really wish I had the clip played. It's really not hard to find because Ron DeSantis quite literally says the quiet part out loud. He says that they need to start banning books. They need to start cracking down on critical race theory, because if we don't, then the kids will grow up to hate America.
Why would they hate America if America's stories are so great, like it's in the history books? Why would they hate America unless America has done something to be hated, Nick? You see how they skip over that part? Like, what do you mean? Why would they hate America? Because we did some bad shit. That's why. Go ahead, Nick.
No. Well said, CJ. And that's exactly why I've been following this for a while now. And I know they always do this, where they're extremely vague about this. And I've seen a few speeches where Ron DeSantis was like, "We gotta go against critical race theory. It is anti-American. We gotta ban these books." So think about what is happening here. You have a group of powerful oligarchs that is trying to censor the flow of information. How is this okay? How do people come to accept this? Where people say, "Oh, you can't teach this form of history." I thought it's supposed to be facts over your feelings, right wingers. In fact, the people who used to say facts over their feelings, their feelings are hurt when they hear the truth about their country. When their kids grow up and they're like, "Man, I don't want to fucking sing the Pledge of Allegiance." And then the parents go, "Oh my God, liberals will brainwash my children." No, it's called facts, motherfucker. And this is why, as people who, and remember what I said on the channel all the time, we got to fight against anti-intellectualism. as a movement, as a Marxist movement, we have to be extremely disciplined, intellectual in our approach. And the ruling class is making a purposeful attempt to dumb down the populace. So to destroy people's critical thinking skills, to erase the crimes of the U.S. empire. So then when they pump out their propaganda and the Republicans pump out their propaganda, you can just easily go along with it because they dumbed you down. And the idea of this, moving on with the story, that you're going to have Missouri ban critical race theory is the most insane shit I ever heard, CJ. Funniest headline I ever heard in my life. When I first saw that, Missouri is banning critical race theory? Where the fuck was critical race theory in Missouri? Because I live in Missouri, son. I had the worst education in the world. So this is how I know they're not serious, because I've seen Josh Hawley. He's our senator. He's been going on this campaign about banning critical race theory. And I'm like, the fuck? I would understand. It wouldn't make sense, but I would understand if they're like a New York Republican, California Republican, talking about banning critical race theory. The fact that I know that this is an assault on the working class, and the fact that they're pretending that this is an issue in Missouri. You know, I know what I learned in Missouri? What I learned, and I remember this vividly to this day, I learned that the American colonizers got along with the American indigenous people. They had Thanksgiving, they were eating turkey together, they was neighborhood friends. And then I was like, laugh at me, guys. I was in my early 20s, like 19, 20, and I really learned about the genocide of the Native American people. I was like, what? We did what? And when I was in elementary school, they would like brush over. They're like, yeah, we treated them unfairly sometimes. Yeah, but they did some things. Then they would say they did some stuff too. They attacked some villages before. They always do that too. So it was like, oh, but some skirmishes. Some skirmishes. No, they slaughtered millions of people. And I've seen some estimates that say up to 40 to 50 million.
Like, Nick, let me give you sort of my take on this. Nick, this is the empire, the ruling class literally has nothing else they can do to separate white workers from everybody else. This is what this is about. Yeah. Separating white workers from this is when you say, why are they bringing this up as not being taught here? Because this is not about it actually happening. This is about having a subject, a story, so white workers would be like, that's why I'm not teaming up with those other workers. That's what this is about. Has nothing to do at all with the actual substance, because it is not being taught. It is not being taught. If it was, we would have a bunch of Marxist 9-year-olds running around here. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, man.
So they taught us that the indigenous people got along with their colonizer, genocidal oppressors. They taught us that MLK was the good one that was beloved by America. That was what I believed until I saw the approval rate. I'm like, what? They present that he was like this American hero guy. At the same time, Malcolm X was the bad one. He was radical. Don't learn. In fact, we're not even going to teach that much about Malcolm X. No point of even doing that. He was radical. Luckily, MLK won their skirmish of intellectual ideas, and people went on a peaceful approach. Then after that, you got civil rights, and racial oppression ended in America. Now there's no more racism anymore. That is what they taught us. Meanwhile, the right wing believed that we would talk critical race theory. They are not honest actors. And this is why RBN, we went a few channels that aggressively spoke out against this anti-woke psyop. That is what it is. It's a psyop. They're trying to convince people that being woke, being intellectual is bad. Having empathy is bad.
Just think about that. If you think about that's what they're doing. Go ahead.
No. I want you to try to think. But remember, who does that benefit? Having a
the ruling class.
Thinking. They're not empathetic about other people. Who does that benefit?
The ruling class.
I know you want to.
But think about this is literally when people say this, and Rome said this in a tweet. He's like, you're literally saying, I don't want to be smart when you say I'm anti-woke. I want to be stupid. Dumb. I'm not smart. Look at those smart people. That's what you're saying when you don't be anti-woke. That is. But think of the psyop though, where you literally have people doing that, Nick. See how powerful that psyop is, where you have the word that's saying be awake to the bad shit that's happening to you, and you got people saying, I'm not that. Look at those people who's woke to the bad shit happened to them. You see how, and it just blows my mind that people don't even put that together. Like to us,
it's obvious.
Dramatically, how that sounds stupid. Go ahead.
And the thing is, I thought this was like a trend that would die real quick. The fact that not only it hasn't died, it's been a prominent part of American culture now. Like there's states banning this shit. This shit is gone here. Like teachers are resigning, or they're canceling their classes. Like there are books that are being pulled from libraries because the libraries are afraid they're gonna get fined in Florida, Missouri. This is dystopian shit that I was told growing up that communist countries do. When I was growing up, they told me that communist countries was deeply authoritarian, they're anti-freedom, and they will ban information that go against the narrative. That's what I was told the Soviet Union was about. Meanwhile, I live in that shit right now in Missouri, in Florida. Everything they told you about communism is a projection. The United States capitalist system, which enable the far-right fascists, because they need these people to help divide the working class. They are the biggest authoritarian that will control and dominate your life, control the flow of information. Everything that you were told about communists applies to the right wing. Let me get to this part. I want to speed up this part of my segment up. Then I'm going to show you guys someone I told you guys I'm going to do a breakdown on for quite some time. Finally with this show, I'm going to show you some Tucker Carlson. Because he's been one of the biggest pushers of this shit. And I've been watching... I watch like Tucker segments maybe 3 times a week just so I can get some up on him. And I am deeply, deeply unimpressed. Like, deeply unimpressed. I see people praise him every once in a while because he mentioned Julian. Like, he's
Wait,
like,
who again?
He's like a Joe Scarborough level propagandist, right?
Wait, who are you talking? Who did you say again? What? Who did you say again?
I don't know what you're referring to, but like he stood up for like Julian Assange.
No, that's what I'm saying. Who is this person you're talking about? Is like people are saying the one that's standing up for Julian Assange. Who is the person again?
Like I don't know what you mean, but I'll try to remember my train of thought here. But there's a lot of people
go ahead.
There's a lot of people that praise Tucker as an anti-imperialist.
Oh, that's what I was asking you, Tucker, because I was thinking of
I see it
Tucker.
I see it on Twitter all the time. And I just explained that he is running propaganda against China. Every show. I'm gonna show you guys an hilarious example. Remember the example I showed you where he said the reason why Biden and the United States want to ban gas stoves is because China. It's like every subject he finds a way to bring China into it. But anyway, I wanna show you guys this because this is the Missouri. I put this part of the article out just gotta feel like skimming the whole thing. There were Missouri teachers who know what the hell they've been teaching for the last 25 years. 25 years of garbage. And they saw this, and I was reading some of the interviews and the quotes in this article, and it was a bunch of teachers like, the fuck are you guys talking about? We don't teach nothing in our schools. So I'll just read this guy quote. If you were to look at the curriculum for Missouri schools, you would not see any mention of critical race theory. Of course. This Todd Fuller, the spokesperson for Missouri State Teachers Association, the critical race theory debate takes away from the real issue Missouri is facing. How do we keep and retain quality teachers? Now, that's actually a great point this guy made. You guys see what this is about? This is capitalists, Ron DeSantis, Josh Hawley, our Governor Pearson here. They are literally waging a class war against teachers. And they're using this as a way to cover for the fact that there's a teacher shortage and the fact that they're not taking care of their teachers. And just another control factor on them. And it also shifts attention away from especially red states. Actually, I would say everyone. Education system falling. Oh my God, critical race theory is taking over our school districts. That's why everything going to hell. I finished this quote. It says, if we don't have teachers to teach, curriculum will be the least of our problems.